I have to answer this question in two ways. One is personal and one will be professional. I am a daughter, I am a wife, I am a mother, I'm a grandmother, like so many of you here. And this could be any of our stories. We do have a unified song. And that unified song is that we are all doing the very best we can in our lives. We all have our struggles. We all have our sorrows. We all have our pain, and we all have those things that we would like to forget or do over. And I think it's in that place that we all come to understand grace. And that we all come to understand that we are all truly doing the best we can as each day unfolds in front of us. But yet so oftentimes what I find in my professional world is that we will stand in judgment of one another. We will stand in judgment of people who are different than we are. And I'm going to tell you this quick story. And you know, Andy talked about pivotal moments. This was a pivotal moment in my life. I was working for Governor Thompson here in the state of Wisconsin. And I was the administrator for Children and Family Services for this most beautiful, wonderful state that my husband and I have called home in what is now our 38 years of marriage. And I was here in Milwaukee, and one of the things I've learned, if you're going to be a policy leader, because power is a problem, you've got to have a head and you've got to have a heart for the work. No one should be setting policy if they don't have a heart for the policy that they're setting. So it was very important to me in doing my work in child welfare that I spent time in the field, that I sat next to judges as cases were coming before them, that I went out into the homes of children we were removing from their parents, that I went and listened to calls coming into that intake line where community members were thinking some child might not be safe and cared for in their own home. And this one day, this pivotal moment, I was out in the field doing work in home where we had a mother with 5 children here in Milwaukee. And we were providing in-home services because we saw the strengths in her. We saw her desire to change. We saw her love for her children. And we knew that if we could just put the right services and supports around her with her, those children could do the thing that they wanted to do more than anything else that I have learned is children want their families. And I'm sitting there on her living room couch. I am a truly blessed individual. I want for nothing. I live in a beautiful home in Waukesha. I have a wonderful life, I think. And I'm sitting there in the home of this woman in Milwaukee on her living room couch, where all the windows are closed, all the drapes are closed, the bars are on the windows because of the issues of safety in the neighborhood outside of her home. There are buckets strategically located all around her house to catch the rainwater because it will start to rain, and the buckets will have to catch the rain because landlords are not being held accountable for the quality of the housing that all people live in, something in my neighborhood we would never allow. She wondered whether or not she'd have enough food for feeding the kids in this last week of the month because she had to make other priority decisions. And folks, I could tell you so much more about that pivotal moment in my life, but I drove home. I drove my 20 miles to my safe Waukesha, and I opened up the garage, and I put my head on my steering wheel, and I just started to cry. Because I realized how oftentimes I stand in judgment of others. That I want to think that I know what they should just do differently, what choices they should have made differently. But what I came to realize in that moment is that most people are doing the very best they can. And that the unified song is our sense of empathy and compassion and genuine care for one another as neighbors. So this spoke to me deeply. It spoke to me personally because I think we all have to remember this could be any of our stories. And while the story may be different, none of us in this room have been immune to that sorrow, to that time of sadness, to that time of self-doubt or wondering what if. But as someone that's dedicated my life's work professionally to wanting to make sure all children are as strong on that wall as they possibly can be, it's made me realize I've got to be a better neighbor. And I hope that, too, is the way that this spoke to you. So thank you for this invitation. It has just truly blessed my life. And I read it, I read the script they sent, but to see it live was really quite quieting. So thank you.